Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
With Election Day just 1 week away, candidates for Winnebago County State's Attorney lay out their approach to laying down the law when it comes to COVID compliance.
Place your bets. Gambling can soon be available in the Forest City. The Illinois Gaming Board schedules a meeting to discuss the fate of Rockford's Hard Rock Casino.
A state-line church that works to feed families in need amid the coronavirus pandemic reaches an impressive milestone. Organizers celebrate the mission's success. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Two candidates are vying to become the next Winnebago County State's Attorney. Dylan
Siraki spoke with each candidate about what their approach would be to using the courts to enforce COVID-19 mitigation measures. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters.
I can't imagine a scenario where I would be criminalizing these actions.
If there's no other way to get compliance, that's what we would have to do.
Paul Carpenter is the Democratic candidate hoping to be Winnebago County's next state's attorney. He hopes businesses would come into COVID-19 compliance without the need for legal action, but says he would be willing to step in if necessary.
There's a few things that would be guiding my decisions. One is listening to the experts, the health experts. That's got to be the number one priority for any state's attorney, any official, in my opinion, should be listening to the health experts on what needs to be done.
Jay Hanley is the Republican candidate on the ballot. He doesn't think it's practical for the court system to have a role in enforcement.
To brand someone or a business owner or a business a criminal for what amounts to alleged administrative violations is problematic.
Hanley thinks the state's attorney's office has higher priority issues to focus on.
We are in the middle of a gun crime pandemic. There are barely enough state's attorneys in the office to prosecute the serious violent crimes that are happening right now. If the state wants to enforce their order, they can come enforce it.
But Carpenter argues the state's attorney's office prosecutes thousands of misdemeanor cases every year.
There's plenty that are not as, not as high a priority as gun crimes and violence, but they still get prosecuted. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
In Winnebago County, for your home team, I'm Dylan Siraki.
The future of Rockford's Hard Rock Casino could be decided this week. The Illinois Gaming Board scheduled a special virtual meeting to discuss the plans Thursday morning, exactly 1 year and a day after the application was submitted. If the license is approved, construction can begin on the former Clock Tower Resort on East State, as well as the casino's temporary home at Giovanni's.
Police in Stephenson County wrangle 3 dogs they say killed 2 miniature ponies. The Stephenson County Sheriff's Office says the ponies were killed last Thursday on McConnell Road. Officers say the dogs are currently in the custody of animal control. Police have not said if the dogs were stray or pets. No word yet on what will happen to them.
Stricter COVID-19 mitigation measures are put into place in parts of Illinois after 4,000 new cases are confirmed. That brings the statewide total to just under 383,000. 46 additional people have passed away over the last 24 hours, including patients in Whiteside and Joe Davis counties. To date, more than 9,500 Illinoisans have died from coronavirus complications. Harsher restrictions could soon begin in the state's most populous city. We'll have more on that tonight at 6.
When the pandemic first hit, many state-line workers struggled to find a way to feed their families.
City First Church stepped up to help put food on the table by hosting several grocery giveaways. Ari Bruckman reports volunteer efforts have now reached an unprecedented milestone.
It's just awesome to see that so many people are just willing to jump in and do whatever it takes to just help the community.
For the 9th time, Rockford City First Church hosted a food drive, giving away thousands of pounds of food again.
So we have different boxes of protein, dairy, and produce that we're handing out to families, just being able to be a blessing in the community today.
While COVID has presented a trying time for many local residents, people says this is the least they can do to help lighten the burden. This food drive alone is expected to feed over 1,000 families.
Actually hitting over 1 million pounds of food today. Over all of our food distributions, we are at total over 1 million pounds that we've been able to give away during the COVID crisis.
Everyone working the event was a volunteer. One Rockford resident says this food drive provides some hope for her and her family.
We need it right now. There's so many people out here today too. There's so many workers, and just
even waving goodbye just gives a little bit of hope right now.
City First Church is expected to continue with their scheduled food drives in November and December, but with winter approaching, they are continuing to find innovative ways to help the community.
Northern Illinois Food Bank is actually purchasing heated tents for our volunteers and CERT team members, so that way, as it gets colder, we are still, staying safe, keeping warm, being prepared.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
The race for the 68th district seat is between incumbent Republican Representative John Cabello and challenger Dave Vella.
Elliot Grandia sat down with both candidates for the Illinois General Assembly to get their take on hot-button issues affecting us here in the state line.
Since 2012, the 68th district seat has been held by Representative John Cabello, a Harlem High School graduate and a Rockford detective. His challenger, also familiar with the state line, a graduate from Boylan and a longtime attorney in the Rockford area, Dave Vella looks to take over as representative. Well, as the region and the state continue to see spikes in the virus, both candidates agree more has to be done to help rescue small businesses struggling to stay open right now. But they differ on what's being done in Springfield to bring down these case numbers.
The governor took people out of prison and put them in some of the finest hotels in Chicago. Well, maybe we should have done that to our elderly, where we separated them a little bit further instead of kept them in these petri dishes that they live in now, and we might not have had this whole big problem.
There was a time where Rockford had a strong coalition and could go to the governor or go to whoever and say, hey, look, we are Rockford. We're not a suburb. We're not downstate. We need to treat us differently because X, Y, and Z. And I think if there's somebody down there who isn't just stirring up the pot, somebody down there who actually will work with them, I think we can get a lot done and we can open up our businesses more safely.
Unemployment numbers continue to go up in the district. Each candidate signaling our property taxes as a burden on the region right now.
I mean, that's the reason why people are fleeing Rockford, is the skyrocketing property taxes. The second thing we need to do is we need to assist our schools and start a new early childhood education program.
Other states around us do not pay for their schools through property taxes. They pay for it through the state budget. That's the way we should be doing it. We should be decoupling property taxes from our schools budgets and putting it in the state budget, making sure that money's there. That will cut our property taxes in half.
For your local election headquarters, I'm Elliot Grandia.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
I have to say a big thank you to Todd for sharing his fall picture with us. This taken just a week and a half or so ago in front of the Black Hawk statue overlooking the Rock River. Gorgeous fall color out there. Now with the wind and the heavy rain we've had over the last couple of days, last week, a lot of the leaves kind of falling off of the trees. But Todd, thank you so much for sharing that picture. King at WTVO.com is where you can share your fall photos. And even as we get closer to Halloween, you can share some of those Halloween pictures too. I'll tell you what, that cloud cover sure has been stubborn today. If you were north of the state line, you saw sunshine. South of that, not a whole lot. In fact, you can actually see the northern edge of that cloud cover. We're looking to the east now with our Mercial SkyTrack camera out of the Poplar Grove Airport, and ever so slowly the northern extent of that cloud cover slowly shifting southward, kind of bisecting us here through much of the day today. And you can see how those clouds have really kind of hugged right along Highway 20 and down to the south. That is all in response to a cutoff low pressure system that has brought more winter weather down across the south and the far southern plains. From Texas up to Oklahoma, they had a full-fledged ice storm down over the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma late last night and through the day today. In fact, look at all the ice storm reports in and around Oklahoma City, just to the north, and then a little bit further down to the south. Now, that cutoff low pressure system is going to work in our direction, but it does stay to our south. All that's going to do is bring back some cloud cover tomorrow night and a small chance for a couple of showers. We've had some dry air try to work in between these two systems, kind of sandwiched to our north and then down to the south. You can see that counterclockwise spin with that low to the south and southwest. Another kind of disturbance working in here across the northern plains. That will bypass us to the north during the afternoon tomorrow, but that's also why we're not going to completely clear out of some of that cloud cover over the next 24 to 36 hours. 41 in Janesville, 40 in Belvedere, 38 right now in Rockford. Our weather watcher Bob this last hour in Rockford checking in with 39 degrees. It's dry out there, so we've got the dry air in place. We're just sandwiched between those storm systems. Now, where we do see the cloud cover stick around, temperatures will most likely stay in the 30s. Where we see the clouds clear out, our numbers will climb back into the 20s, I should say, or drop into the 20s for the night tonight. Tomorrow, we're a little warmer, upper 40s, low 50s for our Wednesday afternoon as we do see a little more cloud cover. Now, Futurecast, I think, is a little excited to get rid of some of that cloud cover. How we are right now is pretty much where we're going to stay as we go through this evening. We'll see a little more sunshine, though, as we head through the day tomorrow, but some of that cloud cover does build back in. Our winds continue from the southwest tomorrow, but that wind is also going to pick up, so it gets a little windy tomorrow, so the wind might offset some of that warming just a bit. You can see the clouds increase Wednesday and then into Thursday. Slight chance where we could get a couple of light showers overnight Wednesday and then into Thursday, but any rain that does come down for the most part is going to stay relatively light here as we head into Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. So we're down to 27 degrees tonight. Temperature tomorrow up to 51. Winds could be gusting in at times at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Here's what the next 7 days looks like with your most trusted forecast. We'll see the numbers dip though because there is a cold front coming in Thursday, Friday. So upper 40s, mid and upper 50s by Halloween. Don't forget to set your clocks back before you go to bed Saturday night as we welcome in November. Those temperatures a little more seasonable. Eric and Meany as we're back close to 60 in just a week's time.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
The Bears woke up this morning with a 5-2 record, but it feels more like 2-5. Even they have a hard time putting a positive spin on the season after the whipping they took last night in Los Angeles. The offense was awful. The run game mustered only 49 yards. Nick Foles was sacked 4 times. He was picked twice. The Bears' only touchdown was provided by Eddie Jackson in the defense. But the biggest blow came during the game when ESPN analyst Brian Griese disclosed that Nick Foles questioned to him some of Matt Nagy's play calling. According to Griese, Foles said some of Nagy's play calls don't allow him enough time in the pocket to execute them. So Foles had some explaining to do after the game.
You know, in that situation with Brian, it was just a miscommunication of words because that's not what I was trying to bring across in that conversation. Right.
And things could only get worse for the offense. Allen Robinson left last night's game after hitting his head on the turf in the fourth quarter. He's in concussion protocol. And center Cody Whitehair left the game with a calf injury. The status for both guys for this Sunday most likely won't be known until late in the week. But the gloom and doom feeling in Illinois football extends beyond the Bears to the Fighting Illini. They could not have had a worse opening game performance than they had last Friday in Madison. They were shellacked by the Badgers 45-7. The Illini were bad on both sides of the football. So, if you're Lovie Smith, what do you do to avoid a repeat of this Saturday against Purdue?
When you have an effort like that, you can't wait to play as soon as possible. So we, of course, we watched the video with our team, and now it's moving on to Purdue.
The Badgers should be flying high coming off that win over the Illini, but that's not the case. That's because the freshman quarterback who tore up the Illini, Graham Mertz, does have COVID. An initial test he took over the weekend came up positive. Now a second test has also come up positive. So according to Big Ten protocols, Mertz has to sit out 3 full weeks. Mertz was only in there at quarterback last week because Badgers starter Jack Cohn had foot surgery this month. The Dodgers have waited 32 years to celebrate a World Series championship. That wait will end tonight if they can beat the Rays one more time. Tony Gonsolin gets the starting pitching assignment for the Dodgers.
Try not to put more pressure on myself than there already is. You know, I try to go out there and throw the ball to the best of my ability, and you know, nothing changes.
Once again, you know where to find that game on your TV. It's on Fox 39 starting at 7. The pregame coverage will begin at 6:30.
Our first Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've been dealing with the cloud cover for most of us here this evening, and it will ever so slowly continue to work in from the north and down to the south. Temperatures tonight down in the upper 20s. The partly cloudy skies, a little breezy for tomorrow afternoon. Highs back up near 51. It'll feel cooler on Thursday, a little windy too. Temperatures back into the 40s, but 50s by the time we head towards the weekend.
The end looks much better than the beginning. Thanks,
Certainly
Candice.
does. And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.